to me, doesn't who pick who he be fight with.
Right.
Like you sit there and you go, oh, I'm not going because this.
I
think I can take him.
I believe people play with people intelligence the way they play with people intelligence and intellect. You know, the way they do today. You know, people are telling lies for a living.
Breaking news, hip-hop fans. Hold on to your headphones because this one's about to shake the streets harder than a mixtape drop on Christmas morning. Tony Yayo, yes, the unflinching Queens OG 50 Cent's right-hand soldier is reportedly going full warrior mode against none other than Houston's legendary power player, J Prince. Wait, what? Did the same J Prince who once whispered in the ears of rap royalty just get publicly called out by G-Unit's fiercest? Rumors are swirling like a cyclone in the rap world. Did someone try to push 50 Cent around behind closed doors? Was there a secret extortion plot? Or is this just another case of industry smoke and mirrors? And why is Tony Yayo suddenly sounding like he's ready to storm Houston with nothing but loyalty, venom, and a microphone? People are talking. Fans are speculating. Social media is exploding. Every comment, post, and cryptic emoji is being dissected like it's evidence in a federal trial. Could this be the rap world's most explosive showdown since the East Coast-West Coast saga? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to feel like you were front row to a blockbuster street drama menace, the ticket price. So, who really crossed the line? And will loyalty win? Or will power play crush everything in its path? Let's dive in. Tony Yayo has always been more than just a hype man.
Maybe we need to change the word for the youngsters. The checking in part, you know, is they seem to get hung up on that word checking in.
Yeah.
So if we could diversify that word and bring it up to a 2021 thing.
Right. What's the word, OG? What's the word?
Maybe we may want to tell them they need to get connected.
He is the shadow standing next to 50 Cent through every battle, every mixtape drop, every tour fight, and every moment when the streets demanded loyalty above all else. But recently, a whisper in the corners of the internet has turned into a roar. And that roar has Tony Yayo moving faster than ever, making it clear that nobody, not even Houston's legendary J Prince, can test G-Unit without consequence. Rumors began surfacing that J Prince might have been trying to influence 50 Cent behind the scenes, perhaps leveraging old connections, power moves, or whispered threats. And while most would have ignored such chatter, Tony Yayo treated it like a red flag in a storm. People close to him say he immediately started checking in, making calls, and ensuring that everyone in 50 Cent's circle knew exactly where the line was drawn. Every post on social media, every cryptic comment, every hint dropped online was not random. It was a calculated signal that G-Unit's loyalty is not something to be questioned, and 50 Cent's reputation is not a bargaining chip. The streets noticed, fans noticed, and the blogs went wild trying to interpret the
last to know that things have changed. We not your little niggas. Like, the way you talking, I don't get what you mean. We're not your little niggas. Like, for real, all that big homie stuff, that's for little niggas. Little niggas have big homies. We're not little niggas, so we don't even respect big homies. I know Killer doesn't, and for me, I never respect
the subtext behind each move, each subtle reference to real ones moving in silence but standing loud when disrespected. And suddenly a story that started as a murmur became a full-blown narrative about power, respect, and the consequences of testing the wrong camp. This is not just about old-school rivalries or industry politics. This is a reminder that history has a way of repeating itself when the wrong names are invoked in the wrong order. Tony Yayo has been there from the beginning, watching, waiting, and learning the importance of loyalty. And now that knowledge has been weaponized into a series of strategic moves that have everyone talking. J Prince may have built an empire of quiet influence and fear, but 50 Cent's camp operates in a different language, one that Tony Yayo translates into action instantly and without hesitation. Fans and insiders alike have reported that the reaction was almost immediate. A wave of statements, private confirmations, and cryptic posts that served as a message to anyone thinking they could manipulate or intimidate. A name like 50 Cent. It was not a threat in the traditional sense. There were no guns drawn, no dramatic standoffs, but the effect was the same. The streets understood the warning, and the narrative shifted overnight. The story became less about whether there had been an attempt at manipulation and more about how quickly and decisively Tony Yayo and the G-Unit camp could respond to maintain control, protect the legacy, and assert that loyalty in this game is non-negotiable. Every subtle post, every understated move, and every historical reference woven into their communication was analyzed, shared, and dissected, making the internet feel like it had a front-row seat to a battle of power and influence. That was equal parts strategy and theater. The tension grew not because there was an open confrontation, but because the signals were unmistakable, the message clear, and the streets knew that crossing this line would come with consequences that no amount of status, history, or influence could erase. As the story unfolded, the heat only intensified, and the streets were buzzing with speculation about what had really happened behind closed doors. And everyone wanted answers about the alleged moves that J. Prince might have been attempting, with insiders claiming that there were late-night meetings, encrypted messages, and even whispered phone calls trying to test 50 Cent's reaction. But Tony Yayo was already several steps ahead, making sure that every potential threat was neutralized with a combination of strategic communication and unspoken authority, letting it be known that G-Unit does not tolerate manipulation of any kind and that 50 Cent's legacy is untouchable. And while the public could only speculate, sources within the inner circle reported that Yayo had personally contacted several intermediaries to make sure there was no misunderstanding about the limits of interference, insisting that respect and loyalty are not optional commodities, and that anyone who underestimated the seriousness of the situation would regret it. And the effect was immediate as blogs, forums, and social media platforms lit up with debates and breakdowns of every post, caption, and quote that could possibly be tied to the drama, with fans
because the little homie young boy place got broke into, people went in his place, disrespected different things, and I got a call about it. And the little homies that went into this place want to make that right because they understand that, young boy family is okay with me. And as you can see, homie, to make a long story short, I got your keys to your road.
Attempting to decipher hidden meanings and symbolic gestures, while others claimed that they had insider knowledge that the situation was far bigger than anyone realized and that the rumors of lavish spending, backroom negotiations, and power plays were only scratching the surface. And this created a perfect storm of speculation where no detail was too small, no gesture too subtle, and no comment too casual to escape scrutiny. And as the tension built, some claimed that legal advisors and industry veterans were quietly involved, monitoring the interactions and advising caution, but at the same time noting that Tony Yayo's approach was masterful because it combined silence with clarity, subtlety with unmistakable messaging, and history with immediate response, ensuring that 50 Cent's position remained untouchable, while J. Prince's influence was questioned for the first time in decades. And fans began drawing parallels to past conflicts in hip-hop, comparing the calculated responses to East Coast-West Coast rivalries, while others brought up stories from mixtape wars, label battles, and forgotten feuds that somehow mirrored the current situation, all of which added layers of drama and intrigue to the narrative, making it feel like every day was a live episode of a high-stakes reality series. Except the stakes were real, and involved millions in reputation and influence, and insiders also hinted at cryptic meetings that took place in Houston and New York, with unnamed executives watching closely and analysts trying to predict what the next move would be. But Tony Yayo's strategy seemed simple and elegant: rely on loyalty, control the narrative, and let the world see that when you challenge G-Unit, you are not just challenging a man, but an entire legacy. And by the time the week had passed, it was clear that the story had not just captivated fans, but had become a lesson in respect, power, and strategic response, showing that in the world of hip-hop, perception is reality. And Tony Yayo had mastered the art of making sure that the message was received loud and clear without ever needing to raise a hand or issue a traditional threat. Time collaborators were holding back, watching closely to see how the drama would unfold, and every social media post, every interview, and every subtle public appearance was analyzed as if it were evidence in a high-stakes investigation, while fans speculated endlessly about whether J. Prince would respond directly or continue to rely on his reputation and silence to navigate the storm. And the uncertainty created a sense of anticipation that felt almost cinematic, as though the streets were waiting for a blockbuster reveal, while the whispers of legal advisors, potential investigations, and behind-the-scenes maneuvering only added to the suspense. And even though no official statements were made, the implications were clear. That challenging 50 Cent and his inner circle was not something to be taken lightly, and the message was reinforced through every subtle action, from reposted photos to cryptic captions, all signaling that loyalty, respect, and control of narrative were non-negotiable, and the online community erupted in discussions, debates, and viral breakdowns of every possible scenario, with some fans creating elaborate timelines of the events, speculating on secret meetings and covert communications, and others comparing the situation to historical industry conflicts, noting how rarely a figure like Tony Yayo would intervene personally and so effectively. And while some claimed that Jay Prince might quietly reassess his strategy to avoid further escalation, others suggested that this could mark a turning point in how influence and power are negotiated in hip-hop, where reputation is defended not just with money or contracts but with visibility, action, and unwavering loyalty. And as the dust began to settle, the streets recognized that the G-Unit camp had not only protected 50 Cent's legacy but had also reminded everyone that silence can be the most powerful statement. That strategic restraint combined with decisive action communicates more than threats ever could, and the narrative became a lesson in authority, showing that when you operate at the highest level of the industry, every move, every comment, and every reaction matters, and that the consequences of misjudging loyalty or underestimating reputation are affecting not just individual relationships but the perception of entire networks and alliances. And through it all, Tony Yayo's actions became a masterclass in maintaining control, asserting power without aggression, and demonstrating that true respect is earned through consistency, credibility, and unwavering dedication. And by the time the story had circulated fully, the public, the fans, and even casual observers understood that this was not merely a feud or a rumor. It was a definitive statement that in the world of hip-hop, some lines are never to be crossed, some names carry weight beyond measure, and some legacies are defended with a level of precision, loyalty, and strategy that makes it clear that challenging the wrong camp can shift the entire conversation in ways that are unforgettable, and that Tony, Yayo, and 50 Cent had reminded everyone exactly why their empire is untouchable, their influence undeniable, and their commitment to loyalty and respect absolute. So now that you've seen the full story unfold, ask yourself this: who really holds the power in hip-hop? The quiet legends who move in silence, or the ones who make the noise and think it will intimidate the empire? Tony Yayo has shown us that loyalty isn't just a word, it's action, strategy, and precision. And 50 Cent's silence proves that influence is measured not by who yells the loudest but by who controls the narrative and protects their legacy without hesitation. The streets, the blogs, and the fans are watching, dissecting every post, every comment, every subtle gesture. And the question remains, what would happen if someone else tried to test that same loyalty? Could any name survive the storm? Or would they crumble under scrutiny? This isn't just entertainment. This is a lesson in respect, power, and the consequences of misjudging the wrong people. So don't just sit there, drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your take on who really came out on top, and hit that like button if you want more stories that pull back the curtain on the industry's deepest moves, the secrets, the betrayals, and the legends who refuse to fold, because in this world, knowledge is power, silence is strategy, and loyalty rules above all else. So stay tuned, subscribe, and get ready, because the next explosive story could be even bigger than this one.